Hello, and welcome to Pets for Sleep. Whether you have been here before, or you are just finding this calm little corner for the first time, this is a place to slow down, learn something gentle about the animals we love, and let the day slowly loosen its hold. Tonight, we are going to explore the secret nightlife of cats. Not in a loud or spooky way, just quietly, the way it often happens in a real home. The dishes are done. The lights are low. A hallway that was busy a few hours ago now sits still under a soft strip of moonlight or the faint glow from a street lamp outside. A bedroom door is half open. A blanket rests unevenly at the end of the bed. Somewhere nearby, a cat is awake. Maybe you hear the soft tap of paws on the floor. Maybe there is a small jump from a chair to a windowsill. Maybe, just as you are beginning to drift off, your cat walks across the room with the calm purpose of someone who has important work to do. To us, nighttime often means the world is shutting down. To a cat, it can mean the world is opening up. If you enjoy quiet videos about pets, animal behavior, and the small mysteries of the creatures who share our homes, you are welcome to subscribe. And if it feels natural, you can leave a comment sharing the name of a pet you are resting with tonight, or a pet you still think about fondly. It helps other gentle animal lovers find this quiet place too. The quiet continues here, just as it is. A house at night is not truly silent. The refrigerator gives off a low hum. The walls click softly as they cool. Air moves through vents. A car passes outside. A curtain shifts by less than an inch. For a human body settling into sleep, these details fade into the background. The brain is good at ignoring familiar sounds when they do not seem important. But a cat may notice them differently. The domestic cat, known scientifically as Felis catus, is a small predator by design, even when it lives safely indoors. Its body is built for watching, listening, waiting, and moving in sudden short bursts. A cat's ears can turn towards small sounds. Its eyes can widen in low light. Its whiskers can brush the air near furniture, door frames, and narrow spaces. Even in a quiet apartment or house, the cat is gathering information. This is why cats can seem so mysterious after dark. They may sit at the edge of a bed and stare toward a doorway. They may pause in the hallway as if something invisible has crossed their path. They may look out the window for several minutes, perfectly still, while nothing obvious happens outside. But the cat is not living in the same version of the room that we are. The human eye is drawn to lamps, screens, faces, and large movement. The cat is tuned to smaller changes. A faint scratch, a shadow sliding across the baseboard, a tiny sound from inside a wall, a moth tapping near the window glass. Even the smell of the room may carry information, because cats use scent to understand what is familiar, what has changed, and who has been nearby. So the nighttime cat is not simply being strange. It is moving through a map we only partly notice. The couch is not just a couch. It is a lookout place. The window is not just glass. It is a border between the safe home and the moving world outside. The bed is not just where a person sleeps. It is warm, familiar, and covered in the scent of someone the cat knows. And the dark hallway is not empty. It is a path filled with soft signals. This is the gentle mystery at the heart of a cat's night. When the human world becomes slower, quieter, and dimmer, the feline world does not disappear. It changes shape. The same home becomes a landscape of small sounds, faint motion, scent trails, warm resting places, and old instincts that reach far back before carpets, windows, food bowls, and soft beds. Your cat may be curled up now, or it may be sitting somewhere in the dark, watching something too small for you to see. Either way, the night belongs to it in a way that is easy to miss. And once we begin to understand that, the quiet house starts to feel a little different. Not empty, not still, but softly alive. That soft aliveness has a rhythm behind it. A cat does not wake and wander at random. Its body carries an old clock. Not the kind with numbers and hands, but a biological clock shaped by light, hunger, temperature, habit, and instinct. Cats are often called nocturnal, but that is not quite right. A truly nocturnal animal is most active during the deep night, when the world is fully dark. Owls, many bats, and some rodents fit that pattern more closely. Cats are usually better described as crepuscular. Crepuscular simply means most active around twilight. The word comes from the Latin word crepusculum, meaning dusk. For cats, the important hours are often the edges of the day. Early morning, when the sky is pale, but the sun is not fully up. Early evening, when daylight thins and shadows begin to stretch. These are the in-between hours. Not bright day, not full night. For a small hunter, those hours matter. Many small prey animals are also active around dusk and dawn. Mice, for example, often move during low-light hours, when they can search for food while avoiding some daytime predators. Small birds settle, insects shift, and outdoor spaces become cooler and quieter. For the wild relatives of house cats, this timing made practical sense. The African wildcat, Felis libica, is one of the main ancestors of the domestic cat. It lives in parts of North Africa and the Middle East, including dry grasslands, scrublands, and desert edges. In hot places, moving during the middle of the day can waste energy and water. The ground is warmer. The sun is stronger. Prey may be hidden away. But at dusk, the air cools. Smells linger closer to the ground. Small animals begin to move again. A hunter with sharp hearing, quick reflexes, and good low-light vision has an advantage. That old rhythm did not disappear when cats moved into human homes. It softened, it adjusted, but it stayed. A cat sleeping on a sofa in a quiet living room is not living the same life as a wildcat hunting near a field or stone wall. There may be a food bowl in the kitchen. There may be a favorite blanket on a chair. There may be no need to hunt at all. Still, the body remembers the shape of the old pattern. Many indoor cats sleep through large parts of the day, then become more alert in the evening. They stretch, they groom, they look toward the window. They walk from room to room. Sometimes they crouch beside a toy as if it has suddenly become important. Later, in the early morning, the same pattern can return. A cat may step onto the bed at 5 o'clock. It may paw gently at a blanket. It may sit beside a sleeping person and wait for movement. It may meow near the door or the food bowl before the house is ready to wake. To the human body, this can feel badly timed. To the cat's body, it may feel perfectly natural. Human sleep is usually arranged in one long block. A person gets into bed, turns off the light, and hopes to stay asleep for many hours. Cats sleep differently. They often rest in shorter periods across the day and night. A cat may sleep, wake, check its space, eat, groom, play, and sleep again. This pattern is one reason a cat can seem fully awake at the exact moment the home has become quiet. Domestic cats can also learn household routines. They may become more active when their person usually returns from work. They may expect food at a certain hour. They may settle down when the lights go off, if that has become part of the home's pattern. But learned routine sits on top of older instinct. It does not erase it. So when evening comes, the cat may feel several signals at once. The room grows dimmer. The air cools near windows. The house becomes less busy. Human voices fade. Small sounds become easier to notice. A toy on the floor may catch the eye. A faint movement near the baseboard may pull attention. A food bowl may smell interesting again. Restlessness, then, is not just restlessness. It is timing. It is biology meeting the quiet shape of the home. It is the old twilight hunter waking inside a safe modern house. And as the lights go low, that hidden rhythm begins to open into a world built for feline senses. That feline world begins with the way darkness changes. For a human, a dark hallway can become simple very quickly. The doorway becomes a black shape. The chair near the wall loses its edges. A blanket on the floor may blend into the carpet. The room is still there, but the details fade. A cat does not see the dark the same way. Cats cannot see in total darkness. No animal eye can make an image from no light at all. But cats can use very small amounts of light far better than humans can. A little moonlight through a window, a thin glow from a phone charger, a street lamp leaking around the edge of a curtain, a pale reflection from the floor. To a human eye, these may barely matter. To a cat, they can help turn a dark room into a readable space. One reason is the size of the pupil. The pupil is the dark opening in the center of the eye that lets light in. In bright light, a cat's pupil can narrow into a thin vertical slit. In dim light, it can widen dramatically, becoming large and round like a black pool. That wide pupil allows more light to enter the eye. More light means more information. Even a faint outline can become useful. Even a small movement can stand out. Cats also have many rod cells in their retinas. The retina is the light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye. Rod cells do not see color well, but they are very good at detecting dim light and motion. Humans have rods too, which is why we can still make out shapes in a dark bedroom after our eyes adjust. But cats are more strongly built for that low-light world. This helps explain why your cat may suddenly notice something in a room that looks empty to you. A tiny insect moving along a baseboard, a shadow shifting across a door, a string from a blanket sliding slightly as air moves, a reflection on a wall from a passing car outside. These are small events, but a cat's eyes are tuned to small events in dim places. Then there is the tapetum lucidum. That name may sound complicated, but the idea is simple. It is a reflective layer behind the retina. When light enters the cat's eye, some of it passes through the retina. The tapetum lucidum reflects some of that light back through the retina a second time. This gives the eye another chance to use the light. It is one reason cats can see better in low light. It is also the reason their eyes can shine at night. When a flashlight, camera flash, or car headlight catches a cat's eyes, that glow is not magic. It is light bouncing back from this mirror-like layer. The glow may look green, yellow, or bluish, depending on the angle and the structure of the eye. Outdoors, this same feature helps many animals move after sunset. Deer, raccoons, dogs, and cats all have eye shine because they also have a tapetum lucidum. For a small hunter, this is useful. Dusk does not erase the world. It reveals a different version of it. A mouse slipping along the edge of grass. A beetle crossing a stone. A bird shifting in a bush before sleep. A thin branch moving against the evening sky. The cat does not need the full brightness of day to notice these things. It needs contrast. It needs motion. It needs enough light to turn shape into possibility. Inside the home, the same pattern continues in a gentler way. The hallway at night may look flat and dark to you, but to your cat, the edges may still be there. The bottom of the door, the corner of a rug, the leg of a table, the open space under a chair, a toy mouse resting beside the wall, a small movement near the laundry basket. The cat's world is not perfectly clear. It is probably softer than daylight, less colorful, more silver, gray, shadowed, and motion-based. But it is not blank. That is why a cat can walk calmly through a room without bumping into furniture. It is why it can leap onto a bed in dim light. It is why it may track something across the floor, while you see only darkness. The night gives the cat enough to work with. Not everything, but enough. And once the room has edges, depth, and movement again, the cat is already living inside a richer version of the dark. Still, sight is only one layer. A cat does not need to see everything to know that something is there. Something can be there without being visible. For a cat, the night is not only shaped by light, it is shaped by sound. A human ear usually hears sounds up to about 20,000 hertz. A hertz is simply one vibration per second. A low sound has fewer vibrations. A high sound has more. Most adults hear less than the full human range, especially as they get older. Very high sounds slowly fade from human hearing over time. A cat can hear much higher sounds than we can. Many cats can detect sounds up to around 64,000 hertz. That is more than 3 times higher than the upper range of a young human ear. This matters because many tiny animals make high, delicate sounds. A mouse moving through dry grass, a small rodent squeaking, an insect tapping against a window, a moth brushing a lampshade, a beetle moving behind a box. These sounds may be too faint, too high, or too brief for a person to notice. But to a cat, they can stand out clearly. This is one reason a quiet room may not seem quiet to the animal sitting in it. The refrigerator hums. A pipe, shifts softly as warm water cools. A wooden floor gives a tiny crack as the temperature changes. A charger makes a faint electronic whine. Rain touches the window in light, uneven taps. A car door closes half a street away. Somewhere outside, a bird moves in a bush before dawn. The human brain filters much of this out. It has to. If every soft sound stayed important, rest would be almost impossible. So familiar noises become background. They are placed gently to the side. A cat's brain also filters sound, but it is listening for different things. Small movement matters to a hunter. A quick scratch, a soft rustle, a tiny shift under furniture. The sound does not need to be loud. It only needs to be useful. The shape of a cat's ear helps too. The outer ear, called the pinna, is the visible triangle of the ear. It works like a small movable dish, catching sound waves and guiding them inward. Cats have many muscles around each ear, and each ear can move separately. A cat can turn one ear toward the hallway, while the other stays angled toward the window. It can make quick adjustments, almost like tuning a radio toward a clearer signal. This is why a cat may freeze with its body still, while only the ears move. The body says rest. The ears say listen. In that moment, the cat may be locating a sound by comparing how it reaches each ear. If a sound reaches the left ear a little sooner or slightly louder, the brain can use that difference to judge direction. Humans do this too, but cats are built to apply it to very small, fast sounds. That skill would have helped wildcats find prey hiding in grass, leaves, or burrows. In a modern home, the same skill points toward a closet, a vent, a baseboard, or the dark space under a couch. This can make a cat's behavior seem almost uncanny. It sits in a room. Everything looks still. Then the ears lift. The head turns. The eyes focus on one spot near the wall. A person sees nothing. The cat may have heard a tiny click behind the drywall, a bug moving near the floor, or a faint outdoor noise entering through a window seam. To the cat, the pause has a reason. It is not staring into emptiness. It is listening into detail. Even the home itself becomes more active after sunset. As temperatures drop, materials contract. Wood, metal, glass, and plastic can make small sounds as they cool. Heating and cooling systems turn on and off. Air moves through ducts. Houses make their own soft language at night. Most of it is harmless. Most of it is ordinary. But a cat may still track it, sort it, and decide whether it matters. That careful listening is part of the secret nightlife. The cat is not only walking through rooms, it is reading sound from every direction. The dark hallway has edges because the eyes can still gather faint light. But it also has depth because the ears are measuring space. A closed door is not silent. A window is not empty. A corner is not nothing. The cat's head turns because the world has whispered. And once that becomes clear, the midnight stare feels less strange. It may be the visible part of a hidden sound we never heard. That hidden sound may become visible only through the cat's body. A cat sits still. The ears angle forward. The head lifts slightly. The eyes widen toward one corner of the room. To a person nearby, the corner looks empty. There is only a wall, a baseboard, maybe the edge of a bookshelf, and the soft darkness that gathers where the lamp does not reach. But the cat is not staring at emptiness. It may be staring at change. Cats are very good at noticing small changes in their surroundings. This comes from their life as hunters. A small hunter cannot wait for the whole world to move loudly. It must notice the faint twitch of grass, the tiny scratch under leaves, the quick dart of a beetle, or the soft shift of a mouse near a stone. Inside a house, those old skills do not disappear. They turn toward quieter things. A tiny spider crossing the ceiling, a moth resting near the curtain rod, dust moving through a beam of light, a reflection from a passing car sliding across the wall, a faint tapping from a window screen, a pipe clicking inside the wall. To a human, those details may be too small to matter. To a cat, they may be enough to hold full attention. This is why the midnight stare can feel so strange. The cat does not blink much. It does not look around for confirmation. It simply fixes its gaze on one place, as if the room has spoken in a language only it understands. Cats have a hunting style built around patience. Unlike animals that chase prey over long distances, cats often use a sit and wait pattern. They freeze, they watch, they save energy until the right moment arrives. A domestic cat stalking a toy mouse in a living room is using the same basic pattern as a wildcat watching tall grass. Stillness is not emptiness for a cat. Stillness is preparation. Even the eyes support this kind of attention. Cats are especially sensitive to movement in low light. Their vision is not built for reading tiny printed words or seeing the same range of color that humans see. It is better suited for detecting motion, shape, and contrast when the light is dim. So a slight shift near the edge of a room may pull the cat's focus more strongly than a bright object sitting still. The human eye may scan the corner and find nothing. The cat's eye may notice that the shadow is not shaped the way it was a moment ago. A curtain string may have moved. A bug may have paused. The light from outside may have changed because a tree branch crossed a street lamp. The ceiling can become interesting too. Warm air rises. Tiny insects sometimes gather near light fixtures. Small sounds can travel through vents, attics, and walls. In older houses, mice may move through hidden spaces behind plaster or drywall. Even in newer homes, the building itself can creak as temperatures shift between day and night. A cat sitting below all of this may look upward with complete seriousness. Not because it sees something supernatural, because something small has changed above it. Doorways create the same effect. A doorway is an edge. It is where one space opens into another. For a cat, edges matter. Prey animals often move along walls, under furniture, or through narrow passages. A doorway also carries airflow, scent, and sound from another room. So when a cat watches a dark doorway, it may be listening to the kitchen, smelling the hallway, and watching for motion all at once. The still face of the cat hides a lot of processing. The whiskers may angle forward. The pupils may widen. The ears may make tiny adjustments. The tail may stay still or twitch once at the tip. Each small movement shows that the cat is sorting information, not in words, not in human thoughts, but through the body. Sound, scent, light, movement, and memory all meet in that quiet stare. This is what makes cats feel so mysterious at night. They reveal that a home is not just the version humans notice. The room has hidden layers. Air moves, dust floats, wood cools, insects shift, light changes. Sounds travel from places we cannot see. A cat does not need to understand all of it. It only needs to notice enough. So when your cat stares into a corner, the simplest explanation may not be that nothing is there. It may be that something too small for you to notice has briefly become important. And in that moment, the house is no longer still. It is full of quiet information, waiting for the animal who can read it. That quiet information does not only reach the eyes and ears. A cat also feels the night. The most obvious tools are the whiskers. They look simple at first. Long white hairs on the muzzle, a few above the eyes, a few on the cheeks. Some even grow on the backs of the front legs. But whiskers are not ordinary hairs. They are thicker, stiffer, and rooted deeper in the skin. At the base of each whisker is a rich supply of nerves and blood vessels. When the whisker bends, even slightly, those nerves send messages to the brain. So the whisker itself does not feel in the same way skin does. Instead, movement at the root tells the cat that something nearby has changed. A chair leg, a wall, a box, a narrow opening under a bed, a soft current of air moving through a room. This is why whiskers matter so much in dim light. A cat may not need a perfect image of every object. It can combine sight, sound, memory, and touch. The whiskers add close-range detail. They help the cat understand the space right around its face and body. Many of the whiskers on a cat's muzzle are arranged in rows. They can move forward when the cat is curious, hunting, or inspecting something closely. They can pull back when the cat is resting, nervous, or trying to avoid contact. A cat approaching a narrow space may push its whiskers forward, almost as if it is measuring the opening before the shoulders pass through. There is a common idea that whiskers are exactly as wide as a cat's body. That is not always perfectly true. Cats come in many shapes. Some gain weight. Some have shorter or longer whiskers. But whiskers still help judge space. They give the cat information about width, contact, and distance. In the dark, this can make movement look almost effortless. A cat slips between a laundry basket and a wall. It steps around the corner of a table. It moves beside a half-open door without brushing its face against the edge. The paws are quiet. The head stays low. The whiskers touch the air before the body commits. A human might reach out with a hand in a dark room. A cat reaches first with whiskers. They are like a soft measuring system. Not a ruler with numbers, but a living set of fine signals. The whiskers can also help detect air movement. When something moves nearby, it pushes air. A person walking past, a toy rolling under a chair, a small insect fluttering near the floor. Even a light draft coming through a window crack can bend whiskers by a tiny amount. For a hunter, this matters. A mouse hiding in grass does not only make sound, it stirs the air and plants around it. A beetle under leaves shifts the space near the ground. A cat that can sense small air changes has another way to locate the world. The front legs add even more detail. Cats have whiskers called carpal whiskers on the backs of their front legs. These can help during close contact with prey or objects. When a cat holds a toy, pins something under its paws, or reaches into a hidden space, these whiskers may help sense position and movement near the limbs. Inside the home, this can show up when a cat bats under the couch. It cannot fully see what is there, but the paw, claws, pads, and small leg whiskers are all gathering information. The body is reading the space. This is part of why cats can seem so graceful at night. They are not relying on one sense at a time. They are blending many quiet signals together. Eyes gather dim light. Ears catch high sounds. Whiskers feel nearby edges. Paws notice texture and vibration through the floor. Memory fills in the familiar route from room to room. The hallway is not just seen. It is touched before the cat fully enters it. A corner is not just heard. It is felt in the air and measured by the face. This makes the nighttime wandering feel different. It is not a random drift through darkness. It is navigation. A careful movement through a home that the cat knows by sight, sound, scent, touch, and habit. The more these senses come together, the more the secret nightlife begins to look purposeful. The cat is not simply awake. It is moving through a private map. That private map has routes. A cat may leave the bedroom, walk down the hall, pause near the bathroom door, step into the kitchen, circle the table, look toward the window, then return by almost the same path. To a sleepy person, it can look like wandering. But many cats move through a home in patterns. They check familiar places. They stop at doors. They pause beside windows. They inspect chairs, rugs, food bowls, litter boxes, beds, and the quiet spaces beneath furniture. This kind of movement is closely tied to territory. A territory is not just land in the wild. For a cat, it is the space where life feels known. It is where food appears, where resting spots are safe, where smells are familiar, where escape routes, hiding places, and lookout points are remembered. Even indoor cats have territories. A studio apartment, a 2-story house, a basement, a bedroom, or a single favorite room can all become a cat's known world. In that world, routine matters. A cat may know which window gets morning light. It may know which chair holds warmth after a person has left it. It may know which door sometimes opens to a hallway, garage, balcony, or porch. It may know the sound of a cupboard, the hum of a heater, or the exact corner where a toy often disappears. At night, when the home becomes quieter, these places may be checked again. Not with panic, not always with urgency, more like a slow inspection, a small security round. The cat walks the borders of its indoor world and confirms that things are where they should be. In the wild, cats depend on knowing their surroundings. The African wildcat, Felis libica, may use areas that include hunting paths, resting places, cover, and scent-marked boundaries. A wild animal that knows its space well can move more safely. It knows where to hide. It knows where prey may pass. It knows where danger might appear. A domestic cat does not need to patrol for the same reasons. There may be no fox outside the bedroom, no rival cat under the dining table, no need to hunt for breakfast near the baseboards. But the older pattern remains in a softer form. The indoor home becomes the landscape. The couch becomes a hill. The windowsill becomes a lookout. The hallway becomes a trail. The bed becomes a warm, central resting place. The kitchen becomes a place of food smells and familiar sounds. This is why cats often prefer high spots. A bookshelf, cat tree, refrigerator top, or window perch gives them a better view of the room. Height helps a cat watch movement while feeling less exposed. In a home at night, a cat may move from low paths to high places, then back down again, quietly updating its sense of the space. Doors can be especially important. A closed door changes the map. Cats often dislike losing access to a known area, not simply because they want to be difficult, but because a blocked route means part of the territory is suddenly unavailable. A door that was open during the day and closed at night may draw attention. The cat may sniff the gap underneath. It may place a paw near the edge. It may sit beside it for a while, listening to the room beyond. Windows are another kind of border. They separate the safe inside from the moving outside. A cat may sit at a window after dark and watch the soft motion beyond the glass. A passing car, a porch light, a branch moving in the wind, a moth near the screen, another cat crossing the yard. Even if the cat never goes outside, the window remains part of its nightly route because it offers information. The patrol may also include people. A cat may check where its humans are sleeping. It may step into the bedroom, pause near the bed, sniff the blanket, or settle for a few minutes at the foot of the mattress. The person is part of the cat's familiar space. Warm, scented, breathing, and predictable. In a quiet home, that can be reassuring. So the silent patrol is not random restlessness. It is the cat touching the edges of its world, checking the doors, reading the windows, visiting the warm places, moving through paths it has learned by repetition. And yet the map it follows is not made only of furniture, walls, and rooms. Much of that map is invisible. It is written in scent. That scent map is one of the quietest parts of a cat's world. A person can walk through a home and see the layout clearly. The couch is beside the wall. The kitchen table is near the window. The bedroom is down the hall. The food bowl is on the floor. The cat sees those things too. But layered over that visible layout is another map, one humans barely notice. It is made of scent. Cats have scent glands in several places on their bodies. There are glands around the cheeks, chin, lips, forehead, and near the base of the tail. There are also scent glands in the paws. When a cat rubs its face against a chair leg, a door frame, a blanket, or a person's hand, it is not only asking for attention, it is leaving behind chemical information. These scent chemicals are often called pheromones. A pheromone is a tiny chemical signal that can carry information between animals of the same species. To a cat, these signals can help mark something as familiar, safe, or part of its known space. This is why cats often rub their cheeks on corners, the side of a couch, the edge of a bed, a favorite table leg, the corner of a laptop, a suitcase that has just been brought home. The rubbing may look casual, but for the cat, it helps update the room. It places the cat's own scent onto an object and blends that object into the familiar world again. A new box on the floor may need to be inspected. A visitor's bag may carry outside smells. Fresh laundry may smell too clean at first. A moved chair may sit in the wrong place, with the wrong scent pattern around it. So the cat investigates. It sniffs. It rubs. It circles once. It may press the forehead or cheek against the object and move on. Slowly, the strange thing becomes part of the map. Cats also use their paws to leave scent. When a cat scratches a post, a rug, or the side of a piece of furniture, the action is partly physical. It sharpens and sheds the outer layers of the claws. It stretches the shoulders and back. It leaves visible marks. But the paws also contain scent glands. So scratching can leave both a visual sign and a scent sign. For a cat, a scratch post near a doorway or window is not just damage or exercise. It can be a marker. A note placed where movement happens. A little sign that says, "This place is known. This place belongs inside the safe pattern." The base of the tail can also carry scent signals. When cats brush past furniture, other cats or people with the side or rear of the body, scent can be part of that contact. This helps explain why a cat may weave around someone's legs when they come home. The movement may be social. It may be affectionate. It may be connected to food or greeting. But it also helps restore the shared scent of the home. A person who has been outside brings back the smell of car seats, stores, sidewalks, rain, other animals, food, soap, and strangers. The cat may rub against the ankles or calves as if smoothing that person back into the household scent. At night, this scent map becomes part of the patrol. The cat walks through the hallway and smells the corners it rubbed earlier. It passes the couch and catches the scent from yesterday's nap. It moves near the bed and finds the familiar smell of blankets, skin, detergent, and its own fur. It checks the window where outside air may have carried in traces of grass, soil, damp leaves, or another animal passing nearby. The home is not only a collection of rooms, it is a layered record of where the cat has been, who has touched what has changed, and what still feels safe. Humans may remember a home by sight. The shape of the kitchen, the color of the walls, the place where the lamp sits. A cat remembers it through the whole body, through sight, sound, touch, and scent. The invisible map tells the cat where it belongs. And when that map includes you, the nighttime visit to your bed begins to feel less random. You are not only someone nearby, you are part of the safe pattern. When you become part of the safe pattern, the cat may include you in its nightly route. It may step into the bedroom without a sound. It may pause near the door first, then come closer. Then place one paw on the edge of the mattress, then another. A moment later, you may feel the careful weight of small feet crossing the blanket. To a person half asleep, this can feel like interruption. To the cat, it may be many things at once. a check-in, a habit, a search for warmth, a social visit, a quiet confirmation that the most familiar part of the home is still there. Cats are often described as independent, but independence does not mean they are detached. Domestic cats can form strong bonds with people. They learn voices, routines, footsteps, feeding times, sleeping places, and household patterns. Many cats know when a person usually goes to bed. They know which side of the bed is warm. They know the sound of breathing under a blanket. They know the scent of skin, hair, laundry detergent, pillows, and the soft fabric where they have slept before. At night, all of this becomes useful information. A sleeping human is warm. The human body usually stays near 37 degrees Celsius inside, and the skin gives off steady heat. Cats naturally seek warmth because staying warm saves energy. A sunny windowsill, a laptop keyboard, a pile of laundry from the dryer, or the curve behind a person's knees can all become attractive resting places. This is one reason cats may sleep beside people. The bed is not just soft. It is a warm island in a cooler room. Scent matters too. A cat that rubs against you during the day may be adding you to its scent world. At night, that familiar scent can be calming. The pillow, blanket, mattress, and clothing may all carry a blend of you and the cat. To the cat, that blend helps define the bed as known territory, not just furniture, a shared resting place, a trusted place. Safety also plays a role. Cats are predators, but they are small animals too. A house cat may hunt toys, insects, or small prey, but it is still built with caution. Even when resting, cats can remain lightly alert. Their ears may move during sleep. Their bodies may wake quickly at an unfamiliar sound. Many cats choose sleeping spots that give them some protection, warmth, and awareness of the room. Near a trusted person, the cat may gain comfort from the steady presence of another living body. This does not mean every cat sleeps directly on a person. Some prefer the foot of the bed. Some choose a chair nearby. Some sleep under the bed. Some visit once, then leave. Some do not like being touched while resting, but still want to be in the same room. The pattern depends on personality, early life, routine, age, health, and the home itself. A kitten raised with gentle human contact may seek closeness more easily. An older cat may choose warmth for stiff joints. A nervous cat may stay nearby but not too close. A confident cat may walk across the blanket as if the bed belongs to everyone. When a cat steps on you at night, it may not be trying to wake you on purpose. It may simply be choosing the shortest route across a familiar surface. It may be checking whether you move. It may be trying to settle into a warmer spot. It may be following a routine that has worked before. If walking across the bed once led to food, attention, an open door, or a sleepy hand reaching out, the cat may remember. Cats are good at learning patterns that produce results. A soft meow at 5 a.m, a paw on the blanket, a tap at the bedroom door, a quiet stare from the floor. These behaviors can become part of the household rhythm if they lead to something the cat values. But not every visit is a request. Sometimes the cat simply arrives, turns in a small circle, tucks its paws under its chest and rests. The body becomes a loaf shape. The eyes half close. The tail settles. The breathing slows. For a little while, the patrol ends at the bed. The cat has checked the hallway, the window, the door, the food bowl, the soft corners of its world, and now the person too. It is affection, but not only affection. It is comfort, but not only comfort. It is the old habit of an alert animal, woven into the soft life of a modern home. And then, after all that stillness, after the warm quiet and the slow blinking calm, the same animal may suddenly lift its head. The ears sharpen, the pupils widen, the body tightens. Something in the night has changed. A moment later, the cat may launch from the bed as if the whole room has awakened with it. A moment ago, the cat was still, warm, half folded into sleep. Then the body changes, the head lifts, the back legs press into the blanket, the tail flicks once, and suddenly, the cat is gone. Across the bed, onto the floor, down the hallway, around the corner. Maybe there is a thump from the living room. Maybe claws tap lightly against hardwood. Maybe a rug slides a few inches out of place. This sudden burst is often called the Zoomies. Some animal behaviorists also call this kind of burst a frenetic random activity period. That simply means a short episode of fast, excited movement that seems to appear all at once. Dogs have them too. Rabbits can have them. Cats, with their quick bodies and quiet feet, can make them feel especially dramatic at night. A cat may sprint from room to room, leap onto a chair, dash under a table, stop suddenly, turn its head, then race back the other way as if something invisible has joined the game. It can look silly, and sometimes it is simply play, but there is usually a reason beneath it. Cats are built for short bursts of movement. Their bodies are not designed like wolves, horses, or humans, animals that can travel long distances for long periods. Cats are ambush hunters. They wait, stalk, crouch, spring, grab, and rest. A burst of speed matters more than endurance. In the wild, a small cat does not chase prey for miles. It uses patience, timing, and sudden force. That pattern still lives inside the domestic cat. Even when the prey is a stuffed mouse. Even when the hunting ground is a hallway runner. Even when the night is quiet and the food bowl is already full. Indoor cats may have fewer chances to use this energy during the day. A cat that lives outside may climb, explore, chase insects, track scents, avoid other animals, and cover real ground. An indoor cat may still have a rich life, but its world is often smaller. A few rooms, a window, a couch, a scratching post, a food bowl, a toy basket. If there has not been much play, climbing, chasing, or exploring during the day, energy can build quietly. The cat sleeps, watches, grooms, waits. Then, when the home gets calm and the body becomes alert, that stored energy can release all at once. The Zoomies are like a pressure valve, not a problem by themselves, not a sign that the cat has lost control, just a fast release of movement that the body has been holding under the surface. The timing makes sense too. Evening and early morning often match the cat's natural active windows. When the light gets low and the house becomes still, the cat's senses may sharpen. The body may be ready for play. The muscles may feel charged after hours of rest. A toy on the floor may suddenly seem worth chasing. A hallway may become a track. A shadow may become a target. A blanket edge may become something to pounce on. The nervous system shifts from resting to ready. The change can happen quickly because cats are made for quick changes. Their flexible spines help lengthen the body during a sprint. Their back legs provide strong pushing power. Their claws can grip fabric, carpet, or soft surfaces for sudden turns. Their tail helps with balance as they twist, stop, and change direction. Even a house cat crossing a living room at midnight is using a body shaped by thousands of years of stalking and springing. Some zoomies also happen after using the litter box. Many cat owners notice this. The cat finishes, steps out, and suddenly races away. The exact reason is not fully settled. It may involve relief, a burst of stimulation, a desire to leave the scent area, or simple habit. But it shows how quickly a cat can move from one state to another. Stillness, then speed, rest, then motion, quiet, then a sudden rush of paws through the dark. This is part of why the Zoomies feel so funny from a human point of view. We expect bedtime to mean slowing down. The cat's body may treat that same hour as a time to wake, practice, release, and move. The sound of running paws is not just chaos. It is instinct finding room inside the house. It is play shaped by old hunting patterns. It is stored energy turning into motion. And when the cat stops at the end of the hallway, crouched low with wide eyes and a twitching tail, the comedy fades into something older. For a moment, the house cat looks less like a soft companion and more like the small hunter it has always been. For a moment, the soft pet becomes something sharper. The same cat that slept beside the blanket now crouches low at the end of the hall. The shoulders sink. The head lowers. The back legs fold beneath the body. The tail may give one slow twitch at the tip. Then everything becomes still. This is the shape of a hunter. Cats are not built for long chases. A wolf can follow prey across distance. A human can walk for hours. A horse can cover open land with steady speed. A cat is different. A cat is made for short, sudden action. It waits first. It watches, it measures. Then it moves all at once. This hunting style is called ambush hunting. Ambush simply means the animal hides, waits, and attacks quickly when the moment is right. Many cats use this pattern, from the house cat, Felis catus, to larger relatives like leopards and tigers. The scale is different, but the basic pattern is familiar. Stillness, focus, a careful approach, a sudden spring. A house cat may use the same sequence on a toy mouse in the hallway. It may creep forward one paw at a time. The belly stays close to the floor. The ears point ahead. The eyes lock onto the target. Then the cat pounces. The movement may last less than a second, but the body has prepared for it carefully. A cat's spine helps make this possible. The backbone is very flexible, allowing the body to stretch and fold during running and jumping. When a cat sprints, the spine bends and extends, helping lengthen each stride. That flexible back is part of why a cat can go from stillness to speed so smoothly. The back legs provide much of the power. They push the body forward and upward. This is why a cat can leap onto a counter, a bed, or a windowsill with such ease. The front legs guide the landing. The paws spread slightly. The claws help with grip. Cat claws are often called retractable, though a more exact way to say it is that they usually rest pulled back inside protective sheaths. When the cat needs them, tendons move the claws forward. This keeps the claws sharp for climbing, gripping, and catching. It also helps explain why a cat can walk almost silently. With the claws tucked away, the soft paw pads touch the floor first. Those paw pads do more than soften sound. They also help the cat feel texture and vibration. A hard floor, a rug, a blanket, a cardboard box, and a windowsill all send different information through the feet. In the hallway at night, the cat is not just running. It is reading the surface beneath it. The ears keep working too. Even while the body is low and still, the ears can move. A cat may aim one ear toward a toy and the other toward a sound near the kitchen. This lets the hunter track more than one signal. In the wild, that could mean listening for prey, while staying alert to danger. In a home, it may mean watching a toy while also noticing the refrigerator click on. The indoor version is softer, safer, and smaller. There is no field, no tall grass, no desert edge, no real mouse in the open. There is a hallway, a rug, a toy, a moving shadow, a crinkled tunnel, a blanket corner. But the sequence remains. The cat spots something. The body lowers. The muscles hold energy. The paws move carefully. The pause becomes longer. Then comes the pounce. This is why play matters for cats. Play is not just entertainment. It lets the cat practice pieces of hunting behavior in a safe way. Chasing a feather wand, pouncing on a stuffed mouse, batting a ball under the couch, hiding behind a chair and springing out. These are small indoor echoes of old survival skills. The cat does not need to be hungry to do them. The behavior can rise from instinct, exercise, curiosity, and pleasure in movement. A hallway sprint, then, is not just a burst of nonsense. It is the body remembering what it was built to do. A toy attack is not only cute, it is a quiet performance of watching, stalking, chasing, gripping, and releasing. And once the hallway becomes a hunting ground, even the most ordinary objects can begin to change. A string is no longer only a string. A shadow is no longer only a shadow. A toy on the floor can suddenly become alive. A toy on the floor has no heartbeat. It does not breathe. It does not hide because it is afraid. It does not know the cat is watching. But in the low light of the hallway, it can still become important. A small stuffed mouse near the wall, a feather wand left beside a chair, a loose cord hanging from a desk, the corner of a blanket shifting when air moves through the room, a crinkled paper bag that makes one dry sound when the cat touches it. To the cat, these things can carry pieces of prey behavior, not because the cat is confused in a human way, but because the body responds to patterns. Small movement, sudden stops, fluttering, hiding, darting away, appearing and disappearing behind an edge. These are the kinds of signals a hunter is built to notice. A mouse does not usually walk slowly across the center of an open room. It moves close to walls. It slips under cover. It pauses. It darts. It disappears into narrow spaces. Many insects move in quick, uneven paths too. A moth flutters near a lampshade. A beetle starts and stops along the floor. A fly bumps lightly against glass. These movements are irregular. They are not smooth like a rolling ball across a clean floor. They change speed. They change direction. They invite attention. That is why toys that move unpredictably often interest cats more than toys that sit still. A feather dragged along the floor can look like a small bird or insect moving through grass. A toy mouse pulled behind a chair can become more exciting because it vanishes for a moment. A ball with a bell inside gives both motion and sound. A paper bag creates a hidden space, a rustling surface, and an opening to pounce into. The cat's hunting sequence begins to wake. First, the cat notices. Then it watches. Then it crouches. Then it stalks. Then it pounces, grabs, bites, kicks, or bats the object away. This sequence is sometimes called predatory play. Predatory means related to hunting. In a home, it does not need to involve real prey. It can be aimed at a plush toy, a ribbon, a moving shadow, or a sock sliding across the floor. The behavior is serious to the body, even when it looks playful to us. Night can make these objects more powerful. In dim rooms, edges soften. A toy partly hidden under a couch may seem more interesting than the same toy lying in the middle of the floor at noon. A cord moving slightly in the shadow beside a desk may catch the eye. A blanket fold may look like a small shape with depth. A reflection from outside may glide across the wall, then vanish. The cat sees motion, contrast, and possibility. The human sees laundry, furniture, and things that should have been put away. This is where the indoor world becomes a kind of gentle stage. The rug becomes open ground. The underside of the couch becomes cover. The chair legs become trees. The hallway becomes a narrow path where something might run. The toy mouse becomes a stand-in for the old hunt. A stand-in is something that takes the place of something else. It is not real prey, but it lets the cat perform the movements its body still wants to perform. This matters because cats need more than food. A full bowl can feed the stomach, but it does not always feed the hunting pattern. The body still wants to watch, chase, grab, and solve small movement puzzles. That is why play can be calming for many cats. A short play session in the evening can let the cat spend some of that built-up energy before the household goes to bed. The toy gives the instinct somewhere safe to go. Instead of attacking ankles under a blanket, the cat can chase a wand. Instead of knocking objects from a shelf, it can bat a ball. Instead of watching the hallway with restless energy, it can complete a tiny version of the ancient sequence. Find, stalk, chase, match, settle. Even crinkly sounds can help. Dry leaves, grass, and small animals moving through cover all make light, broken sounds. A crinkled tunnel or paper bag may echo that kind of hidden movement. The sound alone can draw a cat closer. Then the darkness adds mystery. Then the toy shifts. Then the pounce arrives. So when a cat attacks a toy at night, it is not only being cute. It is practicing an old language of movement, the language of sudden motion, cover, silence, and timing. The living room is modern. The toy is modern. The soft blanket, the hallway light, the cardboard box from a delivery. All of it belongs to the human home. But the pattern beneath it is much older. The small hunter in the hallway is playing with objects from modern life, while following instincts that began far beyond the living room. Far beyond the living room, the pattern began in dry grass, stone, dust, and low light. The domestic cat did not begin as a creature of sofas and window ledges. It began with a small wild hunter. Most domestic cats are descended mainly from the African wildcat, often called Felis libica. This animal still lives today across parts of North Africa, the Middle East, and surrounding dry regions. It looks familiar at first glance. Sandy grey fur, faint stripes, long legs, a slim body, a face that already seems almost like the cat curled up in a modern home. But the African wildcat is not a pet. It is a quiet, cautious hunter, adapted for small prey, open ground, scrubland, and the cooler edges of the day. It hunts rodents, birds, reptiles, and insects. It uses patience more than force. It listens. It waits. It moves low. It saves energy until the moment is close enough to spring. That pattern is still easy to see in a house cat at night. A cat crouched beside a toy mouse is using the body plan of a desert edge hunter. A cat watching a moth near the ceiling is using the same sharp attention that once helped its ancestors track movement in grass and brush. A cat sitting at a window after dark may look gentle and domestic, but the posture is old. The still head, the forward ears, the tucked paws, the long pause before movement. These are not new habits invented by apartment life. They are ancient habits that learn to live indoors. Cat domestication happened differently from the domestication of many dogs, cattle, sheep, or horses. It was slower, looser, and more self-directed. The earliest connection between cats and humans likely grew around farming settlements in the Near East, where people began storing grain thousands of years ago. When humans stored grain, rodents came. When rodents came, small wildcats found a steady hunting opportunity. The humans may have welcomed the cats because they helped control mice and rats. The cats may have stayed because human settlements offered food, shelter, and fewer larger predators. No one had to fully command the process. A useful relationship formed quietly. One of the most famous early signs of this bond comes from Cyprus, where archaeologists found a human buried near a cat around 9,500 years ago. Cyprus is an island in the eastern Mediterranean, and wildcats are not thought to have arrived there on their own. That means people likely brought cats across the water by boat. Long before cat videos, collars, and ceramic food dishes, humans were already carrying cats into new places. Later, in ancient Egypt, cats became even more visible in human life. By around 4,000 years ago, Egyptian art showed cats sitting beneath chairs, hunting birds in marsh scenes, and living close to households. Egyptians valued cats for practical reasons, but also gave them symbolic meaning. The goddess Bastet was often linked with cats, protection, fertility, music, and the home. Over time, cats traveled along trade routes, ships, farms, and towns. They moved with grain stores, sailors, markets, and human settlement. But through all of this, cats kept much of themselves. They became comfortable near people without losing the tools of a solitary hunter. The claws stayed sharp. The hearing stayed fine. The low-light vision stayed useful. The body still slept in many short stretches and woke ready for sudden motion. This is why a pet cat can seem to move between two worlds so easily. One moment, it is soft and domestic, curled on a blanket, resting in the warmth of a bedroom. The next, it is alert at the window, watching the dark yard as if the glass were the edge of a field. Its food may come from a bowl. Its bed may be made of fleece. Its name may be spoken gently each day. But beneath that modern life is an older animal, shaped by dusk, small prey, patience, scent, and sudden movement. The wildcat was never fully erased. It was carried forward, quietly, carefully, into kitchens, bedrooms, barns, apartments, and windowsills. And that may be why the house cat still feels so independent. It came close to humans, but it did not become completely remade by them. That independence is easier to understand when cats are compared with dogs. Both animals live close to people. Both can sleep on beds, learn routines, recognize voices, and form deep bonds. But their paths into human life were very different. Dogs came from wolves. Most researchers agree that dogs were domesticated at least 15,000 years ago, and possibly earlier. The details are still debated, but the basic story is clear. Some wolves began living near human groups. The less fearful ones could feed near camps. Over many generations, animals that tolerated humans better had an advantage. Eventually, those wolves became dogs. Dogs entered human life as social animals already used to group living. A wolf pack depends on cooperation. Members hunt, travel, raise young, and defend space together. That social background made dogs more ready to watch human signals. A dog can follow a pointing finger. It can look to a person's face for guidance. It can learn commands, gestures, routines, and jobs. Over thousands of years, people shaped dogs for many kinds of work. Some guarded homes and livestock. Some helped hunters find birds or track scent trails. Some pulled sleds across snow. Some herded sheep across hillsides. Some sat beside people, simply as companions. A border collie watching a shepherd in a field is using a long history of cooperation. A Labrador retriever bringing back a fallen bird is using a body and temperament shaped by human selection. A sled dog in the Arctic is part of a team, moving with other dogs and people across ice and snow. Dogs were often changed by human needs. Their bodies changed. Their faces changed. Their size changed. A tiny Chihuahua and a Great Dane belong to the same species, Canis familiaris. Yet their shapes are almost unbelievably different. Cats change too, but not in the same way. The domestic cat, Felis catus, did not need to pull sleds, guard sheep, or follow a person's hand signal to be useful. Its main value was simpler. It caught small animals that humans did not want near stored food. When early farming settlements stored grain, rodents came to eat it. wildcats came to hunt the rodents. A cat did not need to work in a group to do this. It did not need to wait for a command. It did not need to look at a person and ask what to do. It only needed to be a good cat. Quiet, patient, sharp-eared, quick enough to catch mice, comfortable enough near humans to stay close. This created a very different kind of partnership. Dogs were often trained into tasks. Cats were often welcomed for doing what they already did well. That difference matters. A dog's usefulness often depended on cooperation. A cat's usefulness often depended on independence. So cats kept more of their old self-directed nature. A cat may enjoy people. It may greet a person at the door. It may sleep beside someone for years. It may follow a familiar voice from room to room. But it often chooses the terms of contact. When to come close. When to move away. When to play. When to rest. When to sit just out of reach and observe the room. This does not mean cats are cold. It means their social style is different. Many cats show affection through proximity, rather than constant obedience. They may sit beside a person instead of on them. They may blink slowly from across the room. They may rub against a leg, then walk away. They may share space without asking for instruction. A dog may look toward a human as if asking, "What are we doing now?" A cat may look toward the hallway as if deciding what it will do now. That small difference shapes the whole home. Dogs often bend more easily around the human schedule. Cats can learn the schedule, but they may still keep their own rhythm underneath it. They may sleep through the afternoon, wake at dusk, patrol at midnight, and become lively before sunrise. They may accept the home, love the people in it, and still move through time in a way that belongs partly to them. This is part of the charm of sharing life with a cat. You do not fully control the pattern. You live beside it. The cat's nightlife is not a failure to become more like a dog. It is a sign of the old arrangement still working quietly. A small hunter joined the human home without giving up its private clock. The private clock does not stop at bedtime. It keeps ticking quietly under the roof. A human may turn off the lamp at 11 o'clock, settle under the blanket, and hope for one long stretch of sleep. 7 hours, 8 hours, maybe more if the night is kind. The body expects the bedroom to become a place of steady rest. The cat may understand the bedroom differently. It may sleep for a while, then wake, then groom, then step down from the bed, then drink water, then look out the window, then return to the hallway, then curl up again in another place. This is one of the main differences between human sleep and cat sleep. Humans usually sleep in one long block. Cats often sleep in many shorter periods spread across the day and night. This is called polyphasic sleep. Polyphasic means sleep that happens in several parts instead of one single stretch. A cat's rest is broken into many small islands. A nap on the couch in the afternoon, a doze on the windowsill after dinner, a deeper sleep on the bed at midnight, a brief waking period before dawn, another nap after breakfast, more rest in a sunny patch later in the day. To a person, this can look like laziness. But for cats, this pattern fits their biology. They are built for short bursts of energy followed by rest. Watching, stalking, chasing, pouncing, and climbing all use energy quickly. Rest helps store that energy again. So the cat's day is not arranged around one bedtime. It is arranged around many small cycles of alertness and rest. A human night may feel like a long, quiet river. It begins when the light goes off. It flows through hours of sleep. It reaches morning in one slow movement. A cat's sleep is more like small pools of still water scattered across time. One pool on a chair. One pool under the table. One pool beside a pillow. One pool in the warm square of sunlight that appears on the floor at 10 in the morning. The same roof holds both patterns. One long human river. Many little feline pools. This is why a cat can be deeply asleep at 9 in the evening, wide awake at 2 in the morning, and asleep again before sunrise. It is also why a cat may not understand why a person wants the whole night to stay still. For the cat, waking briefly is normal. Moving is normal. Checking the room is normal. Grooming for a few minutes is normal. Grooming itself is part of the rhythm. Cats may lick their fur after waking, before settling, after eating, or after a burst of play. The rough surface of the tongue helps clean the coat and spread oils across the fur. It also seems to help some cats settle their bodies after activity, so the soft sound of licking in the dark may be part of the cat returning itself to calm. The route may be simple: wake, stretch, groom, walk, check, listen, settle, sleep again. Some cats repeat this several times while the human beside them remains in one long rest cycle. Age can change the pattern too. Kittens often sleep a great deal because their bodies are growing quickly. Older cats may also rest more, especially if their joints are stiff or their energy is lower. Adult cats often sleep or rest for many hours in a 24-hour day, but not all at once. This is why the same cat can seem both sleepy and restless. It is not one or the other. It is both, depending on the hour. The home also shapes the schedule. A cat may wake when the heating system clicks on, when a person turns over, when outdoor light changes, when birds begin calling before sunrise, when the food bowl is empty, when another pet moves, when a delivery truck passes outside in the early morning. Small events can become markers in the cat's night. Over time, cats also learn human patterns. They may know when breakfast usually happens. They may know when someone wakes for work. They may learn that a phone alarm means movement is coming. They may wait near the bedroom door before anyone has opened their eyes. The two schedules overlap, separate, and overlap again. That is the quiet compromise of living with a cat. You share the same rooms, but not always the same time. While the human body sinks into one long night, the cat drifts through several smaller nights of its own. A little sleep, a little waking, a little watching, a little return to rest. And inside those many pockets of sleep, another hidden world begins to form. The cat is not only awake in a different rhythm, it also sleeps in a way that carries its own strange and gentle mystery. That gentle mystery begins with how much cats rest. A cat may seem awake in the night, but across a full day, it spends much of its life sleeping, dozing, or resting. Many adult cats sleep around 12 to 16 hours in a 24-hour day. Some sleep closer to the higher end, Kittens may sleep even more, because growing bodies need long periods of rest. Older cats may also rest for longer stretches, especially if their joints are stiff, their energy is lower, or they feel most comfortable in warm, familiar places. This can make cats seem almost impossibly sleepy. A cat may nap on the sofa after breakfast, then sleep again on a chair, then move to a windowsill, then curl inside a cardboard box, then spend part of the night awake, alert and moving. But this is not laziness. It is energy management. A cat's body is built for quick action, not steady all-day effort. The same animal that sleeps through an afternoon can leap onto a counter, race down a hallway, climb a cat tree, or pounce on a toy in a flash. Those short bursts require strong muscles, quick nerves, and ready reflexes. Rest helps keep that system prepared. A sleeping cat is a little like a battery being recharged. Not because the cat is empty, not because nothing is happening, but because the body is saving energy for the moments when movement matters. Wild hunters often live this way. They do not waste effort when effort is not needed. A lion may rest for much of the day, then become active when the time is right. A leopard may lie hidden on a branch, still and quiet, then move suddenly when prey passes below. A house cat is much smaller, softer, and safer, but the same basic pattern remains. Rest, watch, move, rest again. Even when a cat looks asleep, it may not be in deep sleep. Cats often spend time in light sleep, where the body is resting but still able to wake quickly. The ears may turn toward a sound. The tail may twitch. The eyes may open halfway. A paw may shift. The cat may lift its head at the sound of a cupboard, a food bag, a door, or a familiar voice. This light sleep makes sense for a small predator that is also small enough to be cautious. In the wild, sleeping too deeply in the wrong place can be risky. So cats often choose resting spots carefully. A high shelf, the back of a couch, a covered bed, a warm laundry pile, a sunny patch on the floor, a box with raised sides, a place near a trusted person. Each spot offers something useful. Warmth, a view, cover, familiar scent, an easy escape route. The curled sleeping shape also has a purpose. When a cat tucks its paws under its body or curls into a round shape, it helps conserve heat. The nose may rest near the tail. The legs are folded close. Less body surface is exposed to cool air. In a cooler room at night, that little circle of fur is efficient and calm. Other times, a cat stretches long across a bed or floor. That usually happens when the room is warm enough and the cat feels safe enough to relax its body. The sleep position tells a quiet story. A tight curl may protect warmth. A side stretch may show comfort. A belly-up position may suggest deep trust, though many cats still do not want the belly touched. The body is always balancing rest with readiness. This is why the sleeping cat can feel so peaceful to watch. The breathing becomes slow. The whiskers soften. The paws fold. The eyes close. The whole animal seems to become smaller, warmer, and more still. Yet underneath that stillness, the body is restoring itself. Muscles recover. Energy is saved. The nervous system settles. the cat prepares for the next small burst of life. A jump, a chase, a stretch, a patrol, a soft walk across the bed before dawn. And sometimes, as sleep deepens, the stillness changes. The ears flick, the paws tremble, the whiskers move as if touched by an invisible breeze. The cat is no longer only resting in the room. Some part of the night has moved inward. Some part of the night may continue inside the sleeping cat. The room is quiet. The cat is curled on a blanket, or stretched along the back of a couch, or tucked into the warm hollow near someone's knees. For a while, the body looks completely still. Then one ear flicks. A paw makes a tiny movement. The whiskers tremble. The tail tip gives a small twitch. The cat does not wake. The eyes stay closed. But something is happening beneath the surface of sleep. Cats, like humans and many other mammals, move through different stages of sleep. Some sleep is light. In light sleep, the cat can wake quickly. The ears may still react to sound. The body may stay loosely alert. Other sleep is deeper. The breathing slows. The body becomes heavier. The cat is harder to wake. And then there is a stage called rapid eye movement sleep. Rapid eye movement sleep gets its name because the eyes can move beneath the closed eyelids. In humans, this stage is strongly linked with dreaming. In cats and other mammals, this stage also appears to involve active brain patterns, memory, and body signals that look very different from simple rest. This does not mean we can know exactly what a cat dreams. A cat cannot wake up and describe a hallway, a toy mouse, a bird outside the window, or the smell of dinner. But scientists can study sleep by watching the body and measuring brain activity. In the 1960s, sleep researchers studied cats to understand how the brain controls movement during dreaming sleep. They found that during this active sleep stage, the brain can be busy even when the body is mostly still. Normally, the body is partly held back during this stage, so sleeping animals do not fully act out their dreams. That quiet protection helps keep the sleeper safe. Even so, small movements can slip through. A paw twitch, a whisker quiver, a tiny movement of the mouth, a soft sound in the throat, a sudden flick of the ear. These little motions may be echoes of waking behavior. A paw that twitches may look like the beginning of a step. Whiskers may move as if the cat is sensing something close to its face. The mouth may shift as if tasting, grooming, or making a small bite. The tail may move once, then settle again. It is not proof of a specific dream, but it is enough to make the sleeping cat feel like it is carrying pieces of the day into the dark. The brain does not simply shut off during sleep. It sorts, stores, and replays. In many animals, sleep helps with learning and memory. A kitten learning to climb, a young cat learning a room, or an adult cat tracking daily routines may all carry those experiences into sleep. The body rests, but the brain continues its quiet work. Think of a cat that spent the evening watching moths near a window. It heard the soft tapping against the glass. It followed the small, uneven flight. It lifted its paw once, then lowered it. Later, asleep on the couch, the whiskers tremble. The paw curls slightly. The movement is tiny, but it feels connected to something. a softened fragment, a trace of motion, a little shadow of the waking world. Or think of a cat that chased a toy mouse down the hall. The toy vanished under a chair. The cat crouched, reached, and pounced. Hours later, in deeper sleep, the back paw gives a brief kick. The shoulders shift. The dream, if it is a dream, is not a story we can enter, but the body seems to remember the pattern. This is what makes a sleeping cat so gentle and mysterious to watch. The animal is safe in the room. The blanket is warm. The house is still. And yet, inside the sleeping brain, there may be movement. Not the loud movement of midnight Zoomies. Not the clear patrol from door to window. Something quieter. A private replay of touch, sound, scent, balance, and motion. The nightlife of a cat does not end when the eyes close. It changes form. The paws grow still, then twitch. The ears soften, then turn towards some hidden signal. The whiskers rest, then tremble as if the air has moved in a dream. And if the cat carries waking life into sleep, then every small nighttime habit may leave a trace. The window, the hallway, the toy, the warm human nearby. All of it may return, softened and rearranged, inside the sleeping cat. All of it may return in small pieces. The hallway, the toy, the window, the warm blanket, the sound near the wall, the hand that gently touched the top of the head. Sleep is not only a pause from the day. In many animals, sleep helps the brain sort and strengthen memory. The brain takes in a great deal while awake. Sounds, smells, movement, touch, places, routines, faces, and small changes in the environment. During sleep, some of that information is processed again. Not always like a clear story, more like the brain softly sorting what mattered, what repeated, what felt safe, and what may be useful later. One important memory area is called the hippocampus. It sits deep in the brain and helps many mammals learn places, routes, and events. In studies of rats, researchers have found that brain activity from running through a maze can appear again during sleep. The sleeping brain seems to replay parts of the path, not with eyes open, not with feet moving through the maze, but through patterns of nerve activity. A cat's world is different from a maze in a laboratory, but the idea is gentle and useful. A cat learns spaces. It remembers the route from bed to food bowl. It remembers which chair is warm in the afternoon. It remembers where a toy rolled under the couch. It remembers the sound of a familiar person opening a door. It remembers the window where birds appear before sunrise. These memories can become part of the sleeping brain's quiet work. A cat's day is full of small experiences. A chase across the living room. A jump onto a windowsill. A stretch beside a sunny patch. A grooming session after eating. A soft blink toward a trusted person. A sudden sound from the hallway. A bird landing outside. A moth tapping near the glass. A hand offering food. A blanket being folded. A door closing. Each detail is small, but for a cat, small details matter. The brain does not need dramatic events to build memory. It builds memory from repetition, from scent, from sound, from movement, from the safe shape of familiar rooms. This is why the twitching paw feels so meaningful. It may be nothing more than a small muscle movement during sleep, but it may also be tied to the brain patterns of motion. A faint trace of a leap, a softened echo of a chase, a paw reaching again for a toy that disappeared under a chair, a whisker moving as if something has brushed close to the face, a tail twitch that resembles alertness, but gentler now. During waking life, the cat's body is precise. It crouches before a pounce. It measures a jump. It places its paws carefully on a narrow ledge. It turns one ear toward a sound. It sniffs the edge of a box before stepping inside. During sleep, those same systems may leave tiny shadows in the body. The cat does not fully run. It does not fully climb. It does not fully hunt. But a paw trembles. A shoulder shifts. The mouth moves once. The whiskers flutter. The memory of action passes through rest like a ripple. Grooming may return too. Cats spend a great deal of waking time cleaning their fur. Their tongues are covered in tiny backward-facing structures called papillae. These help pull through the coat, remove loose hair, and spread saliva. After a long day of grooming, eating, playing, and resting, the mouth may make small motions during sleep. Not a full grooming session, just a faint movement, a little echo from a body that knows the pattern well. Bonding can also become part of the cat's memory world. A familiar person is not only seen, they are heard, smelled, touched, and learned. The rhythm of their footsteps, the place where they sit, the side of the bed they sleep on, the sound of their breathing, the warmth of their lap. All of these details can become part of the cat's safe environment. So the sleeping cat is not empty. It is carrying the outer world inward, the rooms it walked through, the sounds it followed, the toy it chased, the person it trusted, the window it watched. And when that sleeping body gives one tiny twitch, it can feel like the day has not disappeared. It has simply become quieter, folded into the cat's private night. Outside that sleep, another world is still moving softly beyond the glass. Outside that sleep, the world beyond the glass keeps moving. A window can be one of the most important places in an indoor cat's life. It is not only a view, it is a border. On one side, there is the safe home. Blankets, furniture, food bowls, familiar scent, warm places to rest. On the other side, there is the moving night. Trees, porches, sidewalks, grass, birds, insects, cars, other cats. The window lets the cat stand between both worlds. It can stay protected while watching a place full of motion. At night, the window changes. The glass may reflect the room behind it. A lamp may turn the cat's own face into a faint shape on the surface. Beyond that reflection, there may be a yard, a balcony, a driveway, or a dark street. A porch light creates a bright circle near the door. A car passes and sends white light sliding across the ceiling. A tree branch moves against the sky. A moth flutters near the screen. A raccoon crosses a fence. Another neighborhood cat walks along the edge of a driveway, low and silent. To a person lying in bed, much of this disappears into the background. To a cat, the window can become a nighttime theatre. A theatre is a place where scenes unfold. The cat watches from the inside while the outside world performs small, quiet acts. A bird may settle in a shrub before dawn. A squirrel may move along a branch early in the morning. Insects gather around outdoor lights because many insects use light as part of their navigation. A cat may track those insects with great focus, following every small turn and flutter. Even if the cat cannot reach them, the movement still matters. The eyes follow, the ears turn. The whiskers may angle forward. The paws may press against the sill. The body is still, but the senses are awake. Sound also passes through the window area. Even closed windows do not remove every noise. A dog barking far away, tires on wet pavement, wind moving through leaves, rain ticking against glass, a gate closing, a garbage bin shifting, a bird calling before sunrise. If the window is open, even a little, the sound becomes sharper. A screen allows air to move. A small crack near the frame may carry scent. Outdoor air holds information. Damp soil after rain, cut grass, dry leaves, cold air from snow, cooking smells from another home, the scent of another animal passing through the yard. Cats have a much stronger sense of smell than humans. They also use scent to understand territory and change. So the window is not just a picture. It is a place where smells arrive. A screened window can be especially rich. The cat may sit with its nose close to the mesh, breathing slowly. A screen is thin enough to let air pass but strong enough to mark the boundary. The cat can smell the outdoors without stepping into it. It can listen to the night without leaving the safe side of the wall. It can watch movement while staying on a familiar sill. This is why some cats return to the same window again and again. They may have learned that birds appear there in the morning, that insects gather there near a light, that another cat sometimes passes at a certain hour, that the warmest sun patch appears below it later in the day. The window becomes part of the daily and nightly route. For indoor cats, this can provide real stimulation. A cat that cannot roam outside may still observe weather, light, motion, and animal activity. Its world becomes larger through watching. A falling leaf may hold attention. Snowflakes may drift past the glass. Rain may slide down in thin lines. A person walking a dog may pass under a street lamp. The cat does not need to chase everything to be engaged by it. Watching is part of being a cat. Waiting is part of being a cat. Measuring the distance between safety and possibility is part of being a cat. The window holds that distance perfectly. It offers the outside without surrendering the inside. A soft bed may sit a few feet away. A food bowl may wait in the kitchen. A trusted person may be sleeping nearby. Yet beyond the glass, the old world keeps moving. Small creatures pass through shadows. Air carries scent. Light changes shape. The night continues with or without the cat. So the indoor cat is not fully separated from nature. It is placed at the edge of it, safe inside but still listening outward, resting in the home but watching the dark, living at the border between the quiet room and the moving night. Living at that border, the cat brings every sense together. The night is not one thing to it. It is not only darkness, not only sound, not only scent. It is all of them layered over the same quiet room. A person may look into the hallway and see very little. A dark floor, a closed door, a strip of pale light under the bathroom, a chair sitting exactly where it was left. The cat may experience that same hallway as something much richer. There is faint light reflecting from the floor. There is the soft edge of a wall. There is air moving under the door. There is the old scent of paws near the baseboard. There is a sound from the kitchen. There is the memory of a toy that rolled under the table earlier in the day. There is the warm smell of a sleeping person behind it. The cat does not need to think about these details one by one. Its body gathers them at once. The eyes catch low light. The ears sort tiny sounds. The whiskers measure nearby edges. The nose reads familiar and unfamiliar scents. The paws feel texture through the floor. The brain connects the room tonight with the room it already knows. This is why the cat's night can look so strange from the outside. A sudden pause may be listening. A stare may be tracking. A slow walk may be patrol. A cheek rub may be scent marking. A sprint may be stored energy releasing. A visit to the bed may be warmth, habit, bonding, and checking all woven together. None of these actions has to mean only one thing. Cats often live through combinations. A cat can be affectionate and territorial at the same time. It can be playful and predatory at the same time. It can be resting and alert at the same time. That is one of the quiet differences between cats and humans. Humans often name one reason. The cat is hungry. The cat is bored. The cat wants attention. The cat is being weird. But the cat may be responding to several small signals at once. A dim room, a sound behind a wall, a familiar routine, a scent that changed, a body ready to move, a person who is warm and safe nearby. The same room holds two different worlds. For the human, midnight may mean the day is finished. The phone is charging. The lights are off. The floor is cold. The house is still enough for sleep. For the cat, midnight may mean the senses can open in a different way. The lower light is still usable. The quiet makes small sounds easier to notice. The scent map is clear because fewer people are moving through it. The outside window is active with insects, passing animals, wind, and distant noise. The sleeping human is part of the safe center of the home. Even sleep itself arrives differently. The human may hope to stay asleep until morning. The cat may move through several small cycles. Wake, watch, patrol, groom, play, rest, dream, wake again. That pattern can be inconvenient for people, especially when it arrives as paws on a blanket before sunrise. But it is not meaningless. It is the shape of a small hunter living safely inside a human home. There is something gentle in understanding it this way. The cat is not trying to make the night strange. It is revealing that the night was already full of sounds too small for us, full of scents too faint for us, full of motion too slight for us, full of old instincts that still fit inside a modern room. The dark hallway is not empty. The window is not blank. The corner is not always nothing. The bed is not just furniture. each place carries information. Each quiet action belongs to a larger pattern. And when the cat crosses the room in the dark, it is moving through a version of home that humans only partly share. Not better, not stranger in a frightening way, just different. A softer, sharper, lower world of scent, shadow, warmth, timing, and attention. Once that becomes clear, the night cat no longer seems like a mystery interrupting the house. It feels more like another way of being awake inside it. That other way of being awake can change how the whole home feels. A cat does not move through the night on a human clock. It may learn the sound of your alarm. It may know when breakfast usually happens. It may understand the routine of lights turning off, doors closing, and the house growing quiet. But underneath those learned patterns is an older rhythm. A rhythm shaped by dusk, dawn, rest, hunger, play, and watchfulness. Humans often build the day around blocks of time. Morning, work, dinner, evening, bed, sleep. Cats move more like small weather systems inside the home. A nap gathers in one room. Alertness rises near a window. A burst of energy crosses the hallway. Stillness returns on the bed. Curiosity appears again before sunrise. The same animal can seem deeply relaxed and fully awake within the same hour. This can feel disruptive. A cat walking across a blanket at 4 a.m. does not always feel charming in the moment. A paw near your face. A soft meow beside the bed. The sound of a toy being chased down the hall. A sudden leap onto a dresser. These things can pull a person out of sleep, but they also show that the house continues to have a life of its own after the human day has ended. The night is not empty just because people are resting. The refrigerator keeps humming. The floor cools. The window gathers outside sounds. The cat wakes, listens, moves, and settles again. A home with a cat is shared with a small animal clock. Not a clock with numbers. Not a clock that follows the schedule on a phone. A living clock. One that measures time through light fading at the window. Warmth leaving a chair. Birds beginning before sunrise, and the familiar sounds of a person shifting under a blanket. That clock follows rules older than the household routine. Older than electric lights. Older than food bowls. Older than carpets, couches, and closed bedroom doors. The rules come from small wild hunters that rested often, moved carefully, and became alert when the light was low. They come from a body that sleeps in pieces, saves energy, and wakes quickly. They come from senses tuned to faint movement and tiny sounds. This is why a cat may feel slightly out of step with the human world. Not because it does not belong there, but because it belongs there in its own way. It shares the home without becoming fully human-shaped. It accepts the comfort of blankets, heat vents, soft beds, and familiar voices. It may love the person it sleeps beside. It may choose the same chair every afternoon. It may wait near the kitchen at the usual feeding time, but it still keeps part of the old rhythm inside itself. That rhythm can be frustrating. It can also be beautiful. It means that while a person sleeps, another form of life is quietly reading the room. The cat may be sitting at the window, watching a moth move near the porch light. It may be walking along the hallway, following a scent trail left earlier in the day. It may be curled in a chair, ears turning softly toward a distant sound. It may be dreaming, paws twitching as some small memory passes through sleep. It may be resting near the bed, close enough to share warmth, but independent enough to leave when the house calls again. Living with a cat means living beside a different sense of time. Not worse, not better, just different. A time made of short sleeps, soft patrols, sudden movement, and long still watching. A time where dawn matters, where dusk matters, where small changes matter, where the night has texture. And once that rhythm feels familiar, the secret nightlife of a cat becomes less strange. It becomes part of the comfort of the home. The soft sign that while you rest, something gentle and alert is still moving through the quiet. The quiet animal moving through the house is no longer quite so mysterious. It is still wonderful, still soft, still a little strange in the way cats are allowed to be strange. But it is not random. The cat at night is following a world made of small signals. Low light matters. A cat cannot see in complete darkness, but it can use faint light better than humans can. A thin line of moonlight, a glow from a hallway, a reflection from a window, a little brightness from outside the curtains. These small scraps of light can help the cat find edges, motion, and depth where a human sees mostly shadow. Sound matters too. A cat can hear high sounds far above the usual human range. That means a quiet room may still hold tiny noises. A bug near the wall, a floorboard cooling, a pipe clicking, a car passing outside, a bird shifting before dawn. A sound too faint for you may be clear enough for the cat to turn its head. Touch matters. The whiskers along the muzzle, above the eyes, and on the front legs are sensitive tools. They help the cat read narrow spaces, nearby surfaces, and little movements in the air. A dark hallway is not only seen, it is felt, measured softly before the body moves through it. Scent matters. The cat's cheeks, paws, forehead, body, and tail area can leave scent on familiar places. A rubbed chair leg, a scratched post, a blanket, a doorway, a sleeping person. All of these can become part of an invisible map that tells the cat what belongs, what has changed, and what feels safe. Instinct matters. The midnight zoomies, the sudden pounce, the crouch behind a chair, the attack on a toy mouse, all come from an older pattern. Cats are small hunters. Their bodies are made for watching, waiting, springing, and resting again. Even in a warm home with food already waiting in a bowl, that old rhythm still moves under the fur. Sleep matters. Cats do not usually sleep like humans in one long, quiet stretch. They sleep in many pieces. A nap in the afternoon, a rest on the bed, a short waking period before dawn, a return to sleep after breakfast. Inside those pockets of rest, the brain may sort memories, sounds, roots, movements, and familiar faces. A twitching paw may be a small echo of waking life. A chase, a jump, a toy, a window, a trusted hand. And trust matters. When a cat visits your bed at night, it may be seeking warmth. It may be following routine. It may be checking the safest center of its small world. It may simply want to be near the scent and breathing of someone it knows. A cat can be independent and attached at the same time. It can choose its own path and still choose you as part of it. So the secret nightlife of a cat is not only about activity, it is about safety, memory, territory, curiosity, comfort, and the old instincts of Felis catus, the domestic cat, still living gently inside the modern home. The window is quiet now. The hallway is dim. The food bowl rests in the kitchen. The toy mouse lies near the wall. The blanket holds warmth. Somewhere, maybe close by, the cat circles once and folds itself down. The paws tuck under the chest. The tail settles. The whiskers soften. The ears make one small turn toward the room, then grow still again. The house is still full of signals, soft sounds, faint scent, edges of light, tiny movements too small to notice. But they no longer feel unexplained. They belong to the world the cat has been reading all along. And as the night grows deeper, the cat rests inside that quiet world, not simply awake, not simply asleep, but living in a softer version of the same home you share.